Okay, so here I've got an overview of what we call annotated anchor code. So here I've got a little picture. You can click here to see all the different units that we've got available. The key thing is trying to handle the fact that Java has a lot of vocabulary. So if I scroll down, here's Unit 1. You can click on the glossary for Unit 1. So these are all the phrases that I use when I'm describing the content in Unit 1. So by convention, names of classes start with a capital letter and variables start with a lowercase letter, stuff like that. And throughout this document, we use those key phrases to explain each of the ideas. So the big idea is the anchor code is something like this. So this tries to capture all of the syntax that's relevant in Unit 1. You can see on the side, sometimes there's more than one program that's needed to capture all the syntax, but let's look at Unit 1 for a second. So for these, we've got a table. So they always start with the code, and then you can see I've got a little key here. So the star is for a new idea. So let's look at an example of that here. So that first line, that's one of the lines from our glossary. By convention, names of classes start with a capital letter and variables start with a lowercase letter. Next, we put all of our Java code in a class. That's a really important idea. We use that all over the place. Then you can see this purple line. That makes it specific to the code here. On line 1, we named our class Anchor01. So you can see the code here, or the table here, goes through all the lines of code, walking through each of the key ideas in black text, and then applying it to that specific line of code in purple. And then within a table, above we already saw this assignments, evaluate, and then store phrase. And so we show that just so that it's easier to tell that that's not new, we put that in a gray star. Going back up to the key, after Unit 1, we have key phrases that are actually from previous units, and so we just flag that as this is not a new thing. In my classes, I sometimes would have students memorize some anchor code. The code here is basically nonsense, but the key idea is that by practicing writing this out, so I would give students a take-home test, and they needed to retest themselves until they could write it all out perfectly. That sort of works like, students practicing their number facts. When they're writing code, I don't want them to be distracted by the syntax, and so just getting in some repetition with some of the key stuff here can be helpful. Some of the teachers I've worked with have given students these tables and then had them in pairs take turns reading the sentences aloud. It seemed like that really helped students learn some of the key vocabulary and technical terms that get used in APCSA. Teachers have also used these tables and replaced sort of keywords. Like here, I might replace the word classes, or in the next sentence, class, and have students fill in the blank to help them practice recalling some of that key vocabulary. For each of these, we looked at the table. We've also got slides. So the slides are what I use to make a video. So I'll just put these in display mode, and I just walk through each of the pieces. So it really just reorganizes that table. And then I've got the actual video of this. So this is, again, just me walking through that table, but going line by line to try and highlight both the key idea that's in black and then the thing that's specific to the code that's in purple. Okay, back here you can see we've got a bunch of different stuff. So please check it out, and please leave comments if you've got any suggestions or other ideas how to use it.